Hello everybody, this is Waldorf,
And this is Statler.
and now we're going to be looking at the Path of Disease.
Disease.
This is one of the chaos paths. Kind of a disadvantage here is we're not 100% familiar with these armies, but so some of the synergies we may miss, be sure to yell at us on the messages and tell us what we missed and what we did wrong, and
Or not.
or not. Tell us what we, whatever. We'll ignore them probably, but anyway.
Yeah, for whatever reason, at least in our group, the people that have these armies haven't been playing them. They've been playing other armies.
Yeah, the other armies they own.
Which I think is, and I remember when we were looking at your Southern Assault breakdown, how few people were playing warriors or demons.
Right.
Which I actually think you can make some pretty strong builds with.
I agree.
So, yeah.
I definitely don't think they're dead armies. I think they're still viable, good
I think
armies.
they're very good. It's just I think they're just different than
They're different,
and people are angry for foolishly in a lot of cases. But
well, the army build they've been used to playing is no longer
correct.
viable,
That's what it comes
and
down
it comes down to having to force a fix.
Right.
So, but anyway, so let's start with the Path of Disease. For the lore attribute, we have Necrotic Blessing. This is a range 12. It's an augment, focused, lasts a turn. Target gains +1 toughness. A model may only be targeted by this spell once per magic phase. +1 toughness for a focus, so basically your character or a single model
Yes.
getting +1 toughness. That's nice.
Yeah. The
it's
range.
nice.
The range is relatively limited.
Correct.
So.
So the first turn or two, it's not going to do much for you, probably.
Well, it depends what you're casting it on. If you've got like a chaos monster mage,
Okay,
then it's yourself. So.
that's a good point.
It makes you potentially more survivable. Will get you from a 5 to a 6 or a 6 to a 7. So that can be good. And the characters tend to all be pretty tough as it is. So
Yeah, good point.
yeah,
So decent lore attribute.
right. It's actually very good, but fortunately it's focused. So it's only
Correct.
you'll only see it on the bigger stuff in relatively short range. Of course, once again, you guys are probably fighting anyway because they can. Yeah.
Yes.
Pestilent Miasma is the base spell, 4 to cast, 9 in the boosted version. The range is 18. It's an augment, lasts 1 turn. Enemy units in base contact with the target have -1 to weapon skill and initiative to a minimum of 1, minus D3 in the boosted version.
Yeah, this spell suffers for that same thing I don't like, in that you're more than doubling the casting cost for 1/3 of the time you're not doing anything more. You know, you go from a 4 to a 9, and if you roll a 1 or 2 on that D3, you're doing the same thing you would have done if you cast it on a 4.
Or you cast it twice and
Correct.
yeah,
Casting
4,
it,
which is
if you have 2 casters, you're better
Yeah.
off casting it twice.
right.
Anyway, in my opinion, there's a lot of these spells that do the 1/D3, and I'm just not thrilled with the D3 version of that.
Right. But the 1 is nice because you're talking about armies that, in most cases, actually, I believe the rats can take this also. The plague priests.
Can take the Path of
I
Disease.
think so. I have to double
Okay.
check that. I may be wrong.
Right.
Wouldn't be the first time. Won't be the last. But as far as the various the chaos armies, they tend to have higher than average weapon skill.
Right.
So -1, can often make a
difference.
for a 4-up.
Yeah, for a 4-up, it's for 4-up. -1 weapon skill and
Yeah.
initiative for a 4-up. That's
Although I say that, I guess a lot of the plague models,
their lower initiative.
they tend to have 3s.
lower-
Yeah.
yeah.
So it'll help to maybe not get hit as much.
Yeah. No, I think this is good. Like I said, my only issue with this, I think it's fantastic at a 4. -1 weapon skill and initiative is great at a 4. My thing is the boosted. I think if the boosted was an 8 and it did -2 to each, then I think it would be much better. But for casting a 4, spamming a spell, it's great.
Right. For disease demons, I think it's okay. For warriors, which is the higher weapon scale, I think it's very good. But I would agree the 9 is a bit of a steep for a chance at a 3.
Yeah. What's that? 1 First spell is Breath of Corruption. Cast at a 6, boost up to a 9. If you cast it on a 6, it only affects the caster. If you cast it on a 9, it's got a 24-inch range. It's focused, augment. Last one turn, the target gains a breath weapon with toxic attacks. So that's a strength 3 breath weapon
Right.
that has armor piercing 6.
Right. 2d6 strength 3 on prison.
2d6 strength
close
3
combat.
for 6 points.
Yes.
If you cast first casting of 6, if you cast it on the caster.
Yes.
That's actually really nice. It's not just in close combat either.
Right. You can get the template if you want.
Well, 8-inch range.
Yeah.
Right, no more template. Anyway, yeah, I like this spell a lot. I think it's good. I mean, you find some unit that's within 8 inches of an opponent, cast it on them, and immediately use a breath weapon.
Yeah, I mean,
following shooting phase.
yeah,
I mean, it's 2d6 strength 3
I like it better in close combat to help you just get additional wounds to
to boost the combat res.
the boost of combat res. But I think it's a nice spell, but it's got a low casting value, but the strengths aren't particularly high either. So against tough stuff, it's not such a big deal. So, but I think it's fine.
All right. What else we got?
That brings us to number 2, the Putrefying Touch. The casting value is 6, and boosted version is 9 again. Range is 12. Boosted version is 24. It's an augment. Lasts a turn. Target gains poison attacks. Attacks that were already poison attacks will automatically, on a natural to hit roll of 1, or automatically on a natural to hit roll of 1 less.
1 less. So 6 becomes a 5, 5 becomes a
just
4.
Written kind of
It's
in a
written
funny way.
different than the ones they've done
Yes,
before.
yes. So basically, it's makes it a little easier to wound if you already have poison.
It's a
attacks.
normal kind of stackable poison.
Yes. The ability to get poison is nice. For a 6, it's even better.
Yeah.
The range 24, I can see you using that. 29 is not a terrible casting. You need 3 dice for that, but you're going to get it off the vast majority of the time, and
Mhm.
so nice to have poison attacks if you guys don't already have them.
Yep.
To get you those extra hits.
Yeah, it's a nice spell.
So it's nice. Not a lot of shooting in either of the Chaos armies, so you don't get that bonus so much.
Right.
So it's really more about close combat.
Cast this on a little unit with a lot of attacks, though, and
Yeah. Well, some of those already have poison, so that's
Oh,
the
okay.
thing. So, but yeah. So I
well,
think it's,
then you're bumping your poison to 5.
that's
so,
true.
Which
I think that's probably the bonus is kicking up the value of your poison attacks that you already have.
All right. Spell 3, Mass of Flesh. For a casting of 9.
That was when I went to the Brazilian steakhouse and we had dinner. Was that the
Yes,
Mass
it
of
was.
Flesh? Yes.
That was the Mass of Flesh. Cast on a 9, boost to a 12. It's a 12-inch range at the base, boost to 24. It's an augment, lasts 1 turn. Target gains regeneration 5. Affected models with an already existing regeneration also have this increased by 1 to a maximum regeneration of 3+. For a casting of 9, a regen 5, this is fantastic. Great spell.
Well, but a lot of the guys are what's the word? Otherworldly in the
Oh, they have
one
the
army,
5-up ward already?
in the demon army. So
Oh,
for them,
good
it's,
point.
you're getting the regen instead of the ward, which is better in certain circumstances.
Yeah, but that's much more limited.
Which is really limited a lot now. The warriors is a different story. They don't have
They don't have that.
They don't have the otherworldly, so it's I think it's better for them.
Good point. All right. Still a good spell, though.
I think it's good for one, and the other it's
Meh.
it's okay. It's just the casting value is probably high because you already have a decent save.
You already have a decent save.
Yeah.
Okay.
That brings us to the Cleansing Infestation.
That seems like a contradiction in terms.
It does. Are they cleaning the infestation, or is the infestation doing the cleansing? Inquiring minds want to know. Whatever
Isn't
it's
this
doing,
like,
it
isn't
requires.
this like rot grubs or the maggots?
I guess that's what
It's
it
a
is.
cleansing infestation.
Yeah, that could be it. Why don't you try that out and report back to us? Casting value is 10. Range is 18. Hex missile damage. It's instant. Target suffers D6 strength 5 hits. Love those strength 5 hits.
Yep.
Afterwards, the target takes a toughness test. If the excuse me, if the test is passed, nothing happens. If the test is failed, the target suffers another D6 strength 5 hits. Repeat these toughness tests until a test is passed or the unit is
Correct.
destroyed. At a 10, I think this can be very, very potent
It can be
against
toughness 3 or
toughness 3, I think.
right.
Higher toughness, it starts getting weaker, but strength 5 is a big,
Strength 5 is a decent strength attack.
decent strength attack.
I mean, toughness 3 guys, you're talking about wiping them out on 2s, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And then a 50-50 chance of doing D6 more, and then D6 more
Right.
after that.
Right.
It's the cascading effect. This is
It
this is
can't.
one of those that's kind of a danger. You're worried more about the possibilities
Exactly.
than what it's actually going
Now,
to
it
do.
doesn't affect armor at all, or wards or anything. So, well
So the
protected
target
guys,
selection is fairly limited.
yeah, aren't going to be so scared. I think your chaff is probably a little more afraid of this
Mm-hmm.
because an okay dice on your first one, you probably take him out. If not, if you get a second shot, you probably will take him out completely. So,
Right.
but I do think to the point, yeah, that the thought of it going off can sometimes be worse than the actual going off because the variability is
Correct.
and
I mean, you
most
may get
guys
that one phase where it goes nuts and wipes something out.
might get 3 or 4 dice on it.
Correct.
When
The next
statistically
time.
half a time against even weak guys, it's only going to go off once. So
Yeah.
but it's okay.
That brings us to the leprotic curse. Leprotic. It's like the leprosy thing, right?
Correct.
Leprotic curse.
If the
Cast
curse
on
goes off, you get leprosy.
There you go. Cast on 11, boost to a 14. Range is 18, which boosts to a 36. It's universal. Means you can cast it on friends
Friend
and
or foe.
foes. So it's a hex and augment.
Yep.
Last one turn. Target's toughness is increased or decreased by D3. Ooh, to a minimum of 1. No maximum.
Yep,
That is a nice spell.
it is.
It casts on an 11, though.
It's
That's
a
a
pretty
fairly
high
high
cast.
cost, but lowering the guy's toughness by an average of 2, that's pretty amazing.
That is amazing.
I like that a lot, especially combined with the, what do they call them, the toxic attacks that are strength 3.
Right.
You know, base locked at strength
Yep.
3. You bring somebody down to a low toughness,
Yep.
and
a
then
2 or a
follow
1.
it up with a bunch of, toxic attacks, and you're
Right.
wiping a unit out. Or not wiping, well, punishing one.
And a number of the units in the demons have strength 3 or 4, so it's a nice thing to get.
Yep, I like this. Good spell.
All right. That brings us to the Uber spell. Foetid Wind. Foetid?
Fetid?
Fetid?
Did
Could be.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't recognize that spelling. The cast on a 14, big number. It's a vortex, range 6, so 6 to 30. It's a 3-inch template, goes on the ground, as all vortexes do. It's instant. Models touched by the template suffer 1 hit with toxic attacks and multiple wounds, D3.
Speaking of lowering a guy's toughness,
Yes.
but of course, getting these 2 spells off in the same phase is
that
going
means
to
you
be
got,
very
you
rare.
got 12 dice.
Yes.
And somehow your opponent's going to let both of these go off, so yeah.
Or just gets unlucky and fails one.
Yes, exactly. But so as a spell by itself, as an Uber spell, strength 3, even though it's multiple wounds,
It is multiple wounds, which helps, but
helps. Toxic attacks helps against low toughness, high armor models, of course. So it's okay, and it shoots really far, but it's got a very high casting value.
yeah.
It's like a lot of these vortex spells.
Yeah. All right. So, looking back, decent lore attribute. 3 low costing spells, a couple middle, and this high one at the end, which
A couple, I'd
Not
say
that great.
they're all kind of high. So at the end,
yeah. I'm going to give this a thumbs up though. I think this is a good lore, a good path. And if I ever stop saying lore, it'll be a miracle.
yes.
This is a good path. I like this.
I think it's decent. I don't know if there's not maybe better options for the armies. I think we'll see that when we go to the other two lores.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's okay. I'll give it a hesitant thumbs up.
Hesitant thumbs up from
Yeah.
Statler and a thumbs up from Waldorf.
Yes.
So I think we're good. That is the Path of Disease. Thank you for
Yes.
listening.
Disease.